And we are live again. Question mark. We're back. Nah, I think it was on my end. Something happened. Sorry about that. But it's just us right now. The others will catch up or fall back in. But I really like your channel, guys. I think it's pretty cool. And the fact that you're both artists, I, I can't draw a straight line. That is really cool. And I like your setup also, how you've got everything. And y'all do the same stuff that we do pretty much, just to, because I saw the video where you were getting the scrap firewood. Oh, you're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. I'll in the next video or two that I do, I'll make sure and mention you guys. There was another guy, there's survival buzz. He's got a pretty good channel on his too. Um, have y'all been doing it long? I don't know. I had to get that long drink of water that you were talking about. No, I didn't go out to the still. Thank you, though, Rocco. Well, I'm scared to take another drink of water. I'll just sit here and look pretty. How about that? I think that was on my end. I don't know why. We've got the fixed super duper stuff, so it's supposed to do really well. It's amazing the difference in the internet that we had and the internet we have now. I think the only thing that I could get a little bit better would be to get Elon Musk to come over and set up Starlink for me, which I was on the waiting list. I think I still am, but this is so far it's worked out really good, and it's like $130 less a month because I do it for my work, so I have to have a good internet connection. But it was just always terrible. The first 2 days I could write reports, and then after that I pretty much just saved up and wrote my reports out when I was traveling in the hotel rooms. Can you see me? Hear me? It says my audio is on. There we go. Oh yeah, prepping artists. That's the problem. Is okay. I don't know what happened, guys. I beg your pardon. That was what we always have to suffer. Liking to live rural, you pay for it in that respect, and just the fact that there's very few places to shop. Um, One of the things my wife loved about moving out here was the fact that Walmart is a mile. Yeah, yeah. But we're still. I mean, it's still pretty rural. There's about 2,000 people in this little town, and we're just. I guess she is fortunate that the Walmart is close by for her. Um, and I hate to say this, but they just built a McDonald's by the Walmart. So Tucker interviewed Putin. The feds are about to shut down the net. Hey, I wouldn't doubt it. Uh, oh wow. Okay, talking about old time cable. I'm 55, so you guys remember you had the brown box with the slide switches on it, went up to 32, something like that, and you thought you was living in high cotton when your dad finally paid that $22 extra a month for that box, and you could click, 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 click. All you had 30 channels. You remember that? And then for those rich folks, you had the movie channel box in the very back that you hooked to the back of the TV, and you flipped it on for the movie channel and off for the movie channel. Yes, sir. Because for the longest before that, we had and you guys remember those TV antennas, the big ones that stuck up beside your back porch, way up. And every time Dad was trying to watch football and you were out cutting the grass, the interference from the lawnmower, I never could get any of the, unless it was, what was that? Movie channel after dark or something like that. Oh yeah, well, you had a little white box on the cable. Okay. And if your neighbor that lived on the other end of the house had cable and you didn't, those were good times, because that's when you learned how to splice. Absolutely. Because Dad had one house and it was a duplex, and he rented out the other half, and he found out that the other tenants had spliced onto his cable, and he went ballistic. I think he made them move out, because Dad's kind of like that. Well, we didn't freeze up. So what's happening with you guys? What's been going on? Hang on. Learn how to climb the pole out front and hook into cable. There you go. See, that's a life skill right there. Right there. I had a friend of mine, and I've told stories about him before. Some of my Ricky stories. Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that, Marvin. Yeah. Did you do? And I know you said you already had locks on the wheels, and those things don't work that good. I mean, I knew people that could, you know, bust them off with a small sledge, and it, that was it. So we had cable radio speakers in the kitchen, 24/7 shows. You couldn't turn it down. You could turn it down, but not off. I have heard of those. Yes, I have heard of those. I mean, that is 1984. Is that right? 1984. Big Brother stuff right there. That was creepy, because you could always, in the movie and in the book, you could always turn it down, but you could never turn it off. Big Brother is watching. That's cool. Did the insurance company give you any grief or anything, Marvin? I mean, not my business, but I'm hoping they treated you right. And on a much lighter note, how did your mushroom hunt go this past Saturday? Is that not crazy? I saw that they actually have code catchers for your car door decoders, for your car door locks, the remote. And you go out and click it, and they're recording the signal, and they have it, so they follow you home. Later on that night, they come hit the button, open it up, and just drive off. And they're only about $40. I was looking at that and I was going like, holy cow. I watched some kind of video on it, and sure enough, it is for sale. It is out there. You can just buy them. You know, Slavu Radinu. I don't know, Rocco. You got me on that one, buddy. I had done that video on storing food, and somebody from India really? They have a scanner to set back the miles on your car. Now the miles are recorded in the car's computer. I'll be. I knew at one point they had them on the odometer, and then they also at one point I thought they had them in a counter on the transmission. But I'll be. Had a credit card hijacked 3 times. The bank finally figured out every time it was at the gas station. Yeah, I always go inside. I don't pay at the pump anymore. Because Shauna hers was getting hacked about every other month. And we figured it was that they had figured it out. And it was down to one gas station. And they had a little card reader. I'll be. But, I was telling you, I did the video on food preservation, and somebody sent me a message from India, of all places, and they were saying that they had been freezing all of their dry goods, rice, beans, flour, cornmeal, and stuff like that. They'd been doing that for years, and that was pretty much common. That was what you did every time you got something in, because the shipping and receiving is so spotty there that's what they've always done. You got some high techs coming. Oh, okay. Well, way it is. Hopefully the rain made a little bit more mushroom for you to look for next time. I'm losing people. Oh, it's coming back up. I don't know if this is my internet or what. Oh, well. Well, I'm glad the insurance company treated you right. How are you still liking being out there in the country, out where you are? Hey, Luna. Well, thank you very much for watching it. I appreciate that. It was a good day. Got a lot done. I mean, I got up late actually this morning. I got up at about 5:30. Went and did my devotionals, and then drank my coffee. We went to the gym and worked out, and then I came back, and then I went and did all that stuff. And Luna Beta had a really good suggestion, and I have done it before, but I don't do it because I don't routinely use mason jars. When she seals her jars, she has the adapter that goes on her vacuum sealer, and you can also get a handheld pump, and it draws vacuum on whatever jar. I think it's mason jar or whatever will fit under that mason jar, and it's one thing she does. So that would be a good way to help preserve it, because it'll help draw out air and pull a vacuum on it. It won't draw out oxygen, but that's a pretty good way to do it. So props to you, Luna, for that idea and that suggestion. That's pretty good stuff. Oh, my check engine light's on. Yeah, O2. O2 sensor is bad. I've got 5 of them. I know which one it is, but the truck's got 200,000 miles on it, so we bought all new ones, and I just hadn't had the time to do it. Bought the adapter socket and all that stuff. That's a good idea because those work just fine, and they're a lot cheaper than buying ones from I can't remember the name of the company. Uh, Battery operated vacuum sealer for small and wide mouth mason jars. Yes, yes, I think that's what she's talking about. I, and that may be the thing that makes me go ahead and just spend the money and buy all mason jars, because that is just an extra layer of protection. It's a little bit more money to spend, but I did. I did. No, I bought it used, Doc. Um, and it actually, to get me to buy it, they gave me like a little bit of a warranty with it as well, and like 10 or 12 oil changes, um, oil, tire rotation, windshield wiper blades, and all that good stuff. Um, yeah, hang on a second. I think I've got one down here. Let me grab. There we go. The nice thing about being down here in the bunkers, all my junk is here. There we go. Wide mouth, small mouth. There we go. And this came with, we bought it when we did our upgrade. I cannot remember the name of this thing, and that's going to drive me crazy. Vacuum Right, vacuum seal. I don't know. Food Saver. How about that? That one, yeah. I like it. It's nice being out here on the horse farm. Absolutely, man. I don't blame you at all. That's just an extra layer of protection. If you have a long gate, you might want to do a driveway alarm or 2 of them. That's we're having to fiddle with our gate. It's the remote controlled security gate. I think I did videos on installing it, and I think the cold killed the battery on it, so it'll only charge for a day or a day and a half. Man, my hair is wrecked. There we go. Put the hat back on. That's why everybody's disappearing. There we go. I feel better now. One thing I did want to show you guys. I used it tonight because of grilled steaks. This is the a Thermomaven F1 Pro instant read digital thermometer for all the grilling and for the cooking outside. They sent it to me and asked me to do it. You'll see a video on it. If you guys want one, don't get it yet, because they're going to give me a code. You get 20% off. This is like $34. Pretty dang good. I bought 2 or 3, but they just didn't work that good, and so that's why I don't even. That's why I see, Doc. That's why I got this now. The steaks, her steak came out at 146. Mine was about the same. So mine was a little too done, and hers was perfect because she wanted hers medium, I believe it was. So we'll see. I have to say I like it, and it's magnetic and all that good stuff, and I think it will help a lot, especially on those Boston butts and the pork roast and everything that I grill, the smoked meatloafs and everything. And it'll work. I mean, it works great inside the house too. But I got it mainly for the grilling part. Baked chicken is good. I imagine you had to take the skin off. Baked chicken can be a bit much after a while, though. I certainly understand. Yeah. Well, you know, and I know you have to watch. What do you use to season with? Do you just use a lot of herbs, lemon juice? I mean, there's ways you can make it very very good. You know, or just do like a chicken breast. You could grill it as long as you watch your sodium and the MSG. I guess that would be pretty good. But you know, if it keeps you in good health, I certainly understand doing it. I understand, Sergeant Rocco. Yes, yes, that is not a true statement. Uh, Morton's Nature's Seasoning. Okay. Hello to the Broken Nomad. How are you doing, sir? I hope you are feeling better. And I hope you got a good report from, yeah. Well, I wasn't going to say much, but yeah, I hope you got a good report uh, from that disc problem that you talked about. The Broken Nomad is our in house cesspool of knowledge for all things wilderness medicine related. How about that? He's the broken nomad and he knows things. That's what he always says. Um, you got two driveway alarms on you. Okay, good, good. On order now. That's something that we need to get as a backup. Thank you, Luna. I appreciate you coming by. Take care of your people too. Yes, Rocco. Yes, that would be the wilderness. I was trying to think. I mean, you could do yeah, you could do like lemon, rosemary, some thyme, some good seasonings. I mean, you could get like the trinity of Italian seasonings. Oh, lights just went off in the greenhouse down here. Um, and that would be pretty dang good, I would think. What kind of seasonings would be good? Some of you guys know more about it than I do. Something low sodium with no MSG. That would do pretty good. Well, that's good. Hey, Daniel, what you up to, buddy? Dano's seasoning is sodium free and awesome. I know, Sergeant Rocco. I use MSG and some sodium. I don't use a lot of it, but yeah, I do too. Dano's seasoning. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, Daniel, I I understand about poor internet. You got a commercial. Uh, okay. I had a buddy of mine. He had this is back when the internet was still on dial up, and And you guys remember, what was it, 14.4? You know, dial up speed and everything. Trader Joe's Green Goddess Seasonings, your go-to favorite. Mrs. Dash Onion. Don't know about the sodium. I don't like sugar that much. I avoid sugar. Yes, I drink unsweetened tea. Black coffee. I don't eat cakes, pastries, pies, anything like that. He was telling me he was having a lot of problems with his internet. And he said it's just really slow. And I was like, well, Frank, buddy, you know, could be where you are. And this was back when, you know, you got moisture in the line, you know, for the dial up, everything. And, you know, could be anything. And he said, I sign up and it starts making the noise. And he says, I get something to eat and I come back and it's still not hooked up. It's still not connected. I said, man, it takes a minute for that dial up. He said, no, you don't understand. I get in the car, I go to McDonald's, I get a sandwich, and then I come back and it's still not connected. And I was like, holy cow. And at that point, you know, I think he ended up moving later on. Millstone seasoning spices are premium, cheap, and a lot say no sodium. Might be a loose nut behind the keyboard. It could be. It could be. Yeah. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Very funny. A loose nut behind the keyboard. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Um, Former Soviet peoples think iced tea is barbaric. In Soviet Russia, that was all we had. What was the dial up? I remember that, and that pretty much soured me from doing much of anything. Although we lived in one place, and it had we had high speed cable. I guess at the time it was high speed, and I actually was able to do online gaming, and that was kind of fun. But that was when I was like 30. So now I just don't have time. I wouldn't have time to play a game online. But now the phones do it, so you can do it just as fast or faster with your cellular phone. Oh wow, one sugar lump. Azeri sugar lumps are very hard. Huh? I just don't know. I don't think I've ever had sugar in a cube. You know, down here, that's one reason I don't drink much today, because Mom would just pour, you know, 2 cups of sugar and a gallon of tea, and it was like, holy cow, um, that's pretty sweet. Tea ain't supposed to be crunchy. Yes, yes. Now I do like my coffee, but I do like my unsweetened tea. Um, hey, we found Broken Nomad. We found a coffee. Yeah, that's very sweet. It was like, geez. And I think Mom and Dad have been married for like 40 or 50 years. No wonder Dad's diabetic now, because you know, he drank that stuff like it was going out of style. Um, we found a coffee, Peet's, Peet apostrophe S, Peet's coffee, and it's a medium roast bean, and it's pretty dang good. It's up there with Black Rifle, about the same price, about the same price as Black Rifle coffee. Um, that's pretty good though. Yeah, I mean, don't I don't know. When you come down, you can try some. And we got both. We got, I think, 5 bags of the other. Did not go there. Come out to my place for some Bosnian coffee. I bet that is good. I bet that is really good stuff. I have to say, I've had Greek coffee, and I have had authentic, and I've had a cup of really good. Did not know that, Doc Falcon. Um, and I have really good Cuban coffee, and that Cuban coffee is pretty dang good. Little bitty, little bitty cup of Cuban coffee, and a Cuban sandwich, which to me it's almost like a pastrami sandwich. Um, Thought it was Seattle's best. Huh. So that's what we've been doing. Just trying to think what else is going on. One day I'll get these things organized, and we'll talk about something, one topic, and it'll be dull as dirt probably. So we're probably not going to do that. And besides, it's just us anyway. Uh, yes, I tell you what's pretty strong also is the next day Black Rifle coffee. You don't drink all that's in the pot, and you just pour it in the microwave while you're doing your grinding and your brewing, and you nuke that cup. That I got a cup of it upstairs. I'll probably drink that with a steak in a little bit. Oh yeah, and Broken Nomad here. Yeah, since you did not make it earlier, here we go for the steaks. Well, yeah, I understand. I understand. Instant read thermometer. They sent it to me and asked me to test it. Thermomaven F1 Pro. So Broken Nomad. There you go. I'll cook you a steak when you come down, and we can watch it burn. Colombian coffee is really good. Uh, Death from I've seen that one. Uh, Coffee's milk powder sweetener in a tube, and 5 times. I like chock full of nuts coffee. That was it. It's hard to find. Um, it won't. Oh, okay, yeah. I'll put it up. Cafe Bistro dark roast. Put the color back in your hair. My granddaddy, he would drink what was it? Folgers instant coffee. He would make a cup of that, put 2 spoonfuls, and that stuff was like, yeah, that would just give you the heebie-jeebies because while it was strong, it was not a good taste. Did not taste good. Um, I had really good coffee, and they sell it. It's hard. It's really hard to find. It's Cafe Du Monde from down in uh, down in New Orleans. Um, that's some good coffee. The times I've gone down to New Orleans, I've always enjoyed sitting there, uh, Olay, drinking Olay and eating beignets down there. So that's pretty good stuff. Pillion Cafe Bistro are good. We go to the Smucker's headquarter outlet and get it for like 50% off. That's pretty good. Yeah. Broken Nomad. He makes a damn good cup of coffee. That was really good. Yes, it is. It is very expensive. We'd go down there, and they'd open up early in the morning. This was before Katrina, so that's when it was like kind of still the original. And I'd go there and I'd get like 2 cups of Olay and like half a dozen beignets, and I'd carry it over to sit and watch them load and unload uh, the cruise ships. And I'd sit there. It's like 5 in the morning and everything, and I had the extra coffee because it never failed. Like whichever one of the ladies of the night would come over to proposition me, I said, "Nah, I said, but here's a cup of coffee and donuts. You don't call them donuts down there either. All right, buddy. Mom and Pop's gas station in Minnesota. I loved that coffee down there, but yeah, even down there it was expensive. I mean, heck, 20 plus years ago, 30 years ago, probably it was quite expensive. It was worth it. It was part of the trip and everything, and that's, gosh, 30 years ago before I met the Hooch. So we've been together about 20 now. So yeah, so it's been a while. Oh me, anything but the caffeinated coffee. I just don't, or the hotel coffee. I do without before I drink the coffee in these hotels. Marvin, I would too. I would too. I've talked to my boss, because we do the, industrial maintenance stuff. And there's a lot of old industry down there still. And I have talked to my boss and told him, if you ever get a job offer in Cuba, I said, just let me know. I don't. But I would love to go down to Cuba. That to me would be that and the really good cigars down there. Man, um, brewed coffee from India. India is nice. I've never heard of that one, Rocco. Um, there's a couple of desalination plants because I looked it up down there, obviously on the coast uh, in Cuba. They're overrated, huh? You been to Cuba? Oh well. It's not the time you were in Guantanamo, was it? Yeah, because they've been isolated, because of the embargoes. Oh, okay, sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand, buddy. Um, that's funny. I knew a preacher. He was a pilot, and he would fly to Cuba, one of for his mission trips and everything. And so I said, that's really interesting because I told him I'd always want to go down to Cuba. And he said, hey, it's great. He said, you can fly down with me and I'll tell him you're with me. Just, no problem at all. And I never did. He said, it's really great down there. And I said, that's fantastic. I said, is it expensive as far as like, he said, the most expensive thing is the fuel, but I got that figured out. And I said, that sounds like a story. And he said, yeah, it's no problem at all. He says, I buy 2 boxes of cigars and I keep one and give it out to all my friends and everything. And then I take the other one and I sell it to a cigar store, and that pays me enough cash to pay for the fuel for my plane. And that was his racket. Old preacher would fly down there, and do that. Uh, Back in the 50s, he wasn't allowed to get stopped. Oh yes, I think you told me that. That you told me that story. So you just bring in, yeah, 50s and early 60s, Cuba were second to none. After the embargo, tobacco growers took the seeds and went elsewhere. I did not know that, Doc. Uh, do not go hungry, food scarce. Huh. Um, a lot of the cars there, they have transplanted different engines from different cars, whatever it takes to keep them going. Yes, they have. Like I was saying, the embargoes uh, that the United States has put on them since the Cuban Missile Crisis. Um, Parts don't come in unless back when Russia was really supporting them. You know, they'd get some things slipped in, but not a lot. Not a lot. And I have to tip my hat, you know, at the innovation that they have. Um, well, Castro's cousin is running it now since Fidel died. I think it is. I think it's his cousin. I didn't know they had diesel engines in them now. Well, okay, a diesel engine. It's probably a lot easier to make biodiesel from food scraps and from silage and waste plants and stuff like that. It's probably a lot easier to make biodiesel. So that would be one reason to do that. '56 Christie. Maybe, maybe. Uh, American cars into Cuba, you could make a killing. That's interesting. I don't know. I've always just wanted to go down there and hang out though. I always thought that'd be pretty cool. Um, Goes back to the, you know, where would you go if you didn't live where you were? The thing we were talking about yesterday. If I could if I could do Cuba and still keep a U.S. citizenship, retire down there, I have heard of LADAs, LADAs, very industrial made. Is that right? No. Oh, you. Oh, as far as retiring down there. There we go. We're still kicking. About living in Cuba. Oh no. Oh yeah. No. No. That would not do. That that would not do. Lottes are built like tanks. They just don't have the toys like AC. So, built like the rifles, built so the Dallas peasant could toss him into a puddle and would still work. Truth on that on the original AK-47s. Well, even the newer ones, the 47s and the 74s, that they are very durable. Uh, the new ones have air conditioning. That is a comfort. Okay, so you had a two-cycle car, full gas mixture. Red light went on after you stopped because you were out of gas. If you had passengers and came to a hill, they had to get out. I'll be damned. You went wireless years ago because the local company that had monopoly over the phone and internet went total crap. They've been sued like 4 times, and just in case. Now the towers are going. I understand. Dacia bought Lada in 2022, so Romanian engineering now. Huh. Baked cardboard. The body was made out of a baked cardboard. Well, I'll be. A 3-cycle 2-stroke. 3-cylinder 2-stroke. That would be interesting. Duraplast recycled cotton. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Almost like fiberboard. Well, not fiberboard. Well, maybe it is the stranded fiberboard. Hey, redneck prepper, what you up to? We're just sitting here talking about pretty much anything. Cars, Cuba, coffee. It's all sea related. Oh, this is racing cardboard. Yes, I know that stuff. Doesn't it deteriorate if it gets wet repeatedly, though? Even with the baked on, it had a coating on it. Well, I guess not. I mean, as harsh as that environment is, I guess it stood up. The VW Polo engine. You guys are above me on this. I have no idea about most of these. Of course, I'm not as old as y'all. Oh, I've got to get the steam yard set up so we can do the live thing. That's something I've been meaning to do. I got to email those people back because they said I did something, so they're going to help me do it. East German drove into West Germany, but Trebians couldn't take real petrol, so every pond suddenly had Aussie ducks. Travis had overdrove into him, but Aussie ducks. Now, that's pretty cool. That's interesting. When the wall came down, how about that? I remember that. I always wanted a piece of the Berlin Wall. Found at times. Huh. Oh yeah, you could get me a piece of the Berlin Wall. Heck yeah. Let me know how much and I'll buy it. Pay shipping or whatever. Postage. Pay postage. Yes, I just to have it. Nowadays you talk about it. He sold it as the wall. Now that's just rude, Doc Falcon. The guy doing that. That's just terrible. Got 50 little chunks. That'd be pretty cool. you know, I guess if people were willing to buy it, I mean, it's a good, as far as scams go, it's kind of a good one. Um, I know a guy who was selling, or I didn't know him. I'd heard of him. He was selling Indian artifacts, and he would make arrowheads and tomahawk heads, and he would rub them in dog poop and bury them, and then dig them back out after a month or so. And he says that aged them. And I said, dog poop? I said, that's pretty specific. He said, cow poop won't work. And I said, well, why? He said, I don't know. But he up to 10 years ago, he was selling stuff like that online on eBay. And I was like, that is just the craziest stuff. It's just likely car that's built out of a truck, very durable. Huh. Well, guys, we are coming in on an hour, 51 minutes, and we were on 8 minutes before that because of I don't know why we got kicked off still. But I'm going to wrap this up. I know you guys got stuff to do, and I appreciate you guys coming by and hanging out. And we'll keep doing this, and it'll grow or it won't, and we'll keep doing it regardless because it's just nice sitting down talking to you guys. Oh yeah, Doc. Yeah, and he said he made folding money, doing it, artifacts and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know about that. Apple brandy. Okay, I'll send you a message. I bet that'd be good too, the apple brandy. Well, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. You guys have a good evening. Go do something productive. You've wasted a perfectly good hour. What was that from? Again, another click and clack reference. So I will leave you guys to it. Have a good evening. You guys have fun. Stay safe. Take care of you people. See ya.